So can you grow rhubarb in a container? Well, it really depends on who you ask. Certain people say you can't because it's got too big of a root system, and the summer and the winter in a container it will kill it off, or it won't produce very good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to plant rhubarb in a container. We started these rhubarbs from seed 2-3 months ago, early February. And they germinated in 4 days, did incredibly well inside. So we got them established here, hardened them off. So the key to growing it in a container, if you're going to grow in a container, you want the largest container you can possibly find with good drainage. Now, obviously, we don't have the largest containers we could find, or these are the largest containers we could find. This is a storage tub. This is 16 inches high by 12, 14 inches wide. If you can get something that's 20 inches wide or 20 inches deep, that's ideal because that'll give that root system a very good way to grow for a while. This here is only 13 inches high or 13 inches tall, so this may be a little more hampering in the growth. And they both have good drainage. The problem that you face when growing rhubarb in a container, because of the aggressiveness of the plant, it can, during the summer months, the roots will warm too much, and in the winter, if you leave it outside, the roots will freeze. Now, rhubarb can be grown in zones 2 to 7, maybe 8, based on how you take care of it. So, talking about the heating and the cooling of the roots, if you grow it outside in a container, and you don't want to put it in the actual ground, you can bury the container a little bit to try to get some of that coldness or the natural coolness of the soil. You can also mulch around it as well to try to repel some of that heat. Now, if you grow it in a container during the winter months, you want to take it inside in a non-heated barn, cellar, garage, basement, shed, and you want to keep it moist because the roots will dry out. It's going to die on you. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to plant these, and we won't get a harvest off of them this year. We probably won't get a harvest off of it next year, about third year in. Now, rhubarb can be divided at a certain point. A third of the plant at a time can be divided and passed around and grown in different locations now. So we're just going to plant this, not going to add any fertilizer. Rhubarb likes a good rotted manure or a very high organic material, so we're growing in certified leaf compost. And come the spring, if they are still have survived, we will give a good organic-based fertilizer for them. Now, planting them, kind of like strawberries, you don't want to bury the crown. If you bury the crown, you're going to choke the plant off. So we're just going to bury it just the same depth that it was in the container that it was growing in. So that one's done. So this one here, we're going to put it in the center, try to give it more space to grow. And there's a lot of articles online that are pros and cons to growing rhubarb in a container. Some people say absolutely, go ahead, nothing wrong with it. Other ones are very against it. So you take the articles for what they are worth. Now, rhubarb likes full sun, and that's another thing that we have to put in full sun. It will tolerate partial shade, but again, we want to keep the roots cool, so by mulching it and keeping it wet, that'll keep the roots on a cool level. So growing rhubarb in a container, can you do it? Yes, you can. There are just some pros and cons to it.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.